welcome to the More to Life podcast. I'm your host, Elle Mace, and today we're joined by Ola Goldsmith. Hello, Ola.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. So you are a sales and business mentor coach in the beauty industry. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So hair, beauty and aesthetics business owners to grow their business, increase their incomes and be go-to experts.
I love that. And you look like you are absolutely smashing it, by the way. So huge congratulations.
Thank you. I've worked so hard for the last 6 to 12 months. It's been non-stop, but it's been worth it.
Yeah, I think it's so easy for people to see people's like social media accounts and maybe think it's luck or they're just doing so well, but people don't see like the hard work that goes on behind it and the amount of resilience that someone has to have in order to get to this point. That's a part of something that I've really liked to talk to you today is your resilience personally and professionally.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes a lot. Some people are not just born with it. They have to build it up. But yeah, I think that I was born with it.
Just born with it. Love that. Just talk to us about the start then. Who was Ola as a little girl?
So I grew up in a small town called Nuneaton. Not really that much going on here. It's not like my school was very much full of working class council estate people. I was from a council estate. And I just always knew that I wanted to do big things. I knew that I wanted to go and explore. I wouldn't say the world. I wasn't one of those people that's like, right, I'm going to go backpacking in Australia.
Yeah.
I need to get out of Nuneaton. So I went and lived in London, went and lived in Birmingham, explored so many different jobs. And to be honest, actually, my first jobs were sales jobs. I was desperate to get a job and I was desperate to earn money. Like my dream was to work in Aldi, packing really fast.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I just want to work in Aldi. I love touching money and like being important. And I heard that it was good pay in Aldi. So that was like my first, like I really wanted to work in Aldi, but I ended up working in the co-op. That was one of my first jobs. Then I worked in Debenhams. And then I moved to London and got into like modeling. And yeah, I was just living my best life. I didn't really have a plan. You know, like some people are like, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor and I want to be when I grow up, I want to make money and I want to just live my life. Like I went to college and did beauty because I thought, well, I can have my own beauty business, which I temporarily had. I was very much scatterbrain, still am, all over the place, always coming up with these ideas. I've always been an action taker. I would have an idea in my head and I wouldn't stop until I got it. So I was like, I absolutely want to work in Aldi. Didn't get the job in Aldi, but I got the job in the co-op. And I think that had I have still continued with that dream, I would have got the job in Aldi. But obviously my dreams changed when I realised that this Aldi dream
was no
there
longer.
was more to life than that for me personally. So yeah, I've always been an action taker. I've always wanted to work for myself. I've always wanted to have a business. And I do not know where that comes from, other than the fact that I hate being told what I can and can't do.
Right. Yeah.
Told what I can and can't do. And that's why like lockdown drove me insane. But I just don't like being like, I want to make the decisions. I decide where I go, when I go. I decide how long I'm at work for. I don't like authority. Never have.
Yeah. That's also common. A lot of people don't like to be told what to do. But I think when you're somebody who knows they're kind of made for more, even more so, are you not going to want to take instructions from someone else?
Yeah. And I always think that if you're like, oh, I don't really want a job because I don't like having a boss, then I don't know, me personally, and everyone's different, but I don't know why people then would go and get a job if they really don't want to, because there's so many opportunities to start a business. Anyone can start a business. Anyone can do anything they want. There's nothing that says, oh, if you're from this background, you can't do this. Or if you're good at maths, you can't be an accountant. You could be anything. It helps if you're good at the things that you want to do. But literally, if you search hard enough, there's somebody from a similar situation as you that's achieved what you want to achieve. And all you need to do is work out how they did it and then do it 10 times better.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Were you studying beauty while working in the supermarket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at college doing level 2 and level 3 beauty. I worked at Debenhams. Then I just got a bit sidetracked. I got into modelling. I was on page 3.
Were you?
Yeah.
Hello, have you still got a copy?
Yeah.
Is that completely naked? No, that's not completely naked.
No, pants. Yeah. Although I did do Playboy as well.
Did you?
Playboy
Was that
line.
naked?
Yeah. Tasteful naked, but yeah, it's naked.
Tasteful naked.
Yeah, I wouldn't have the guts to do it now. Who did I think I was? I don't know.
Well, I just love that. Fearless. Have you got any stories you can share with us from your Playboy times?
No, I literally just shot it and it was in the photographer's house. He was a well-known photographer, so it wasn't like dodgy or anything. He'd shot, don't quote me on this, but I swear he's done like Kate Moss and like
Yeah.
he's done a lot of famous people. He was called Byron Newman, very famous photographer, done lots of stuff in the glamour world. And it was at his house. He had a studio in his house. We had a full glamour squad. There wasn't just me shooting. I didn't get paid an awful lot of money. But it was an American magazine. It was going to be printed in America. And I was like, maybe I'll go to America. You don't know. I literally was just like, I was literally about 20. And I was like, I don't care.
Wow.
Do it. An opportunity. I had a good agent. And the agent was like, do you want to do this? And I was like, well, I don't not want to do it. So
Yeah, definitely. I think when you're that age, you are a little more fearless in terms of your body as a woman compared to like post kids.
yeah.
I think you seize the opportunity while you can.
And I think at that time, I was more just thinking, oh, that'll be easy money, go and have I was more thinking like the money aspect of it rather than, oh, is this something that I want to do? Do I want to go down this career? Now, I probably wouldn't do it because I just think that in my long term, I think long term now, used to be a very short term thinker. Made sense right now. And I still have elements of that in me. I still make decisions that I think, oh my God, in hindsight, why did I do that? I do try to not make those short term decisions now. It's quite hard for me.
Yeah, it can be. But I think as you get older, you've got kids, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that mature brain just starts to kick in. So what happened then after Playboy?
I did modeling for a few more years. Then I met my husband. Actually, I met him on a dating site, but I was about to go on a dating TV show. That was a bit weird. I was still living in London. I moved to London, obviously, and then was pursuing all the modeling. And I realized it was really inconsistent and that I was never going to make it the way that I thought I was going to make it. Like I'd been doing it for years and years and years. And I was like, okay, I've not had a big break. And like, I'm getting older now. It's time to move on. I was looking to settle down. And I was like, might not appeal to some people. Yeah, as I met my now husband, I was going on a TV show called The Bachelor. So
yeah, I know.
Went on, that was kind of the last thing that I did before I came out of that world. Because obviously I came back from The Bachelor and I got with my husband and I was like, right, I really just wanted a job and I wanted to settle down and I moved back from London. And that's where my life got a bit more serious and it was the right time. Had the time of my life up until then, would do it over again. Sometimes I'm like, take me back for a week. Yeah, and then I think meeting my husband just calmed me down a bit. And like,
did you meet him before you went into The Bachelor?
Well, whilst I was in the application process, yeah.
You're like, just hold fire, wait here, hold me back.
He dropped me off at the station when I was going.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. I guess The Bachelor's slightly different to the others because there's one guy, isn't there? And there was loads of girls. Whereas like
but we didn't all like him, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. It's not like Love Island when you're literally sharing a bed with someone.
No. Oh my God, no.
Oh, that's so funny. And then you came back with him, and then that's when you started to start your own businesses.
I went into sales. Yeah, I went into sales, and whilst I was getting back into sales, I got into hair extensions, started my hair extension business. Yeah.
Amazing. So where in this journey up until now, I'm especially thinking around your modeling career, where were you given pushbacks? Did you face rejection?
All the time. With the modeling career, that was my first major. I'd done some quite big things and I was like, I'm still not getting anywhere. I'm not going to make it. I'm not getting booked every week. I'm not going to be the next famous glamour model or any other kind of model. So that was a rejection. And I just thought, you know what? This is not for me. It's not like I was only ever in it for like the money and the lifestyle. And I was like, I've served that purpose. Time to just do something else and accept it. And I went back to what I was really good at, which was sales. And again, I wanted to climb the ladder in sales, but I was just too distracted because I didn't like being told what to do in my job. But then I started a fashion business.
Oh.
My fashion business, literally, I lost my Instagram page and I lost the business. So that was the major blow, 40 grand as well. Oh, that was a drama.
40,000 followers and you just lost it.
I lost 40 grand as in money. We had about 10, 15,000 followers at the time. All of our sales were coming from there because we'd paid the influencers.
Yeah.
And it was ignorance. There was a really famous brand that's still going, a multi-million-pound business that we became under the radar of, and they didn't like it. They didn't like it that we was doing what they was doing, and influencers were using us and wearing us, and they were basically saying that I was copying their designs, which I was just buying my designs from China. So if China copies everyone's designs, literally, when I went into that business, I made some of my own designs, which are now being sold by fashion people now. I drew these in my living room. I can't believe that they're on websites because China just copy anything and everything. Yeah, I just turned a blind eye to it, and they ended up reporting my Instagram several times. I was pregnant, so I was like, oh, whatever. And then my Instagram just disappeared one day and I never got it back.
It's just awful for businesses that literally run off that one social platform. I mean, now I think everyone's seen it.
I had a salon at the time as well.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'd started my hair extension business. That was going good. I didn't have any major setbacks with that until last year. And then I was like, oh God. I tried to save it, got some credit cards out. Honestly, it was like worst financial decisions I'd ever made because I wasn't thinking straight. Just wasn't thinking straight. I was in panic mode. I had loads of stuff to do. I was just making rash decisions all over the place. I was like, I'll get credit card. Anyway, eventually I was like, I need to admit defeat. Like, fashion was not my passion. Anyway, my hair extensions was really my passion. It was another thing that I did because I liked fashion. It was more of a hobby that I thought I could make money from. I'm one of those people that like, years, I'm like, woo, let's do it. Yeah, so I lost a lot of money there. And that was my first major setback. I think I was this close to a mental breakdown. I remember sitting on my sofa, I was in this house, and I was crying to my best friend saying, what am I going to do? What's going out? I've got more going out than what's coming in because I've tried to save this business. I've got myself in all sorts of debt personally as well. My salon's doing okay, but obviously it was like lockdown and stuff. It was madness. And she was like, babes, you need to just give up now. Let it go. Consolidate your debt and move on. I was like, what I needed to hear though, what I needed to hear. And I was like, okay, what I'm going to have to do is just consolidate that debt. Still paying it off now.
Really?
Technically, I could just pay it all off now, but I'm investing. I'm like, until I have to, it's being managed nice. It's nearly gone. But yeah, it's a drama. It was one of the biggest financial breakdowns that have ever happened to me. Even though it was smaller than the financial breakdown that I had last year, which we haven't come on to yet, it was more dramatic.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the fact that it wasn't just the money, a whole community and Instagram just disappeared. Yeah. You worked so hard to get. In
an industry that I wasn't familiar with either. So
it is isn't it? Well, you are at a place where you carried on, obviously, because we're about to hit now. But so many people at that point there, I know I like question what I would have done. I can imagine my nervous system just being completely shot to pieces.
I decided to shut it off. I was like, let it go, it's gone. Yeah. I literally told myself it was dead. That business is dead, and now you're dealing with the repercussions. But the main thing that I thought is I'm not dead. I'm alive and I can do anything. I'm not dead. My business is dead. And that's it. And then I was like, I'm healthy. I've got healthy children. I've got a nice house. I've got a nice husband. And I just practiced gratitude. Like, yes, I'm in this shitty financial situation, but I've got a good life. This is a bad thing, not a bad life. Yes, it's going to be difficult to get out of, but it's figure outable. There is a way out. Stop burying your head in the sand. That's gone. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Because a lot of people will bury their head in the sand. And I was like, I haven't got months to feel shit. I don't like feeling shit anyway. So I'm one of those people. I'm like, what can I do to make myself feel better? So I just focused on something else. Consolidated the debt, dealt with, okay, this is how much I'm going to have to pay for a month, this many years. And now to make that payment more manageable and to move on, I've not got any CCJs. I've not got any, do you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. I'm going to concentrate on the salon and the education, even though I couldn't because we was like going into lockdown and stuff. And I'm just going to grow that as much as I can. So I concentrated on the education within my hair extension business. And that went bigger and better. And I was like, oh my God, thank God that the fashion business ended because this is where I'm supposed to be.
That's it. There's always that silver lining, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you feeling tired, stressed out, and just like you can't catch a minute? Well, why don't you come along to our More to Life Spanish retreat this October the 4th to the 8th. We have a private luxury villa, a chef, lots and lots of workshops, yoga, hiking, fun, connections, friends, and excursions. Send a DM or an email to find out more.
And actually, if that hadn't happened, you may have just not coasted, but you may have just stayed in an industry that actually you would have done another 5-10 years in and it wouldn't have lit you up.
Yeah. Something would have happened anyway because I didn't understand the industry. I didn't have the right mentors around me. I didn't have a mentor. I literally didn't know. I was winging it. And when you're investing large amounts of money into a business that you're riding on that can affect your financial security like that one did, I should not have been doing the unknown on my own. Naive of me. I didn't have a proper marketing budget. I didn't have a contingency plan. It was naive of me. It was silly of me. Had I have had the right support, it could have been a different story, but we'll never know. Like, main thing is I was just in the unknown, doing the unknown without any help. And that's the biggest mistake that I made, just thinking that I could wing it, playing with large amounts of money, which was silly.
So your growth, your personal growth that you would have had from that whole journey now serves you to this day.
Exactly.
Okay, so where's the good bit? Tell us the good bit. You went into the...
But then, I grew the hair business. I went into education with that, and I realised I was really good at teaching. I feel like they say you find your calling.
Yeah.
I loved teaching people stuff. When people are like, oh, how do you do hair extension so good? Teach them how to do it. Then I started my training academy, and literally I just loved it. But for me, it's never enough. Never enough. I wanted more. That's when I decided that I wanted to bring out my own hair extensions to go with the training, because the training had gone really good. And it felt like more of a natural progression. It was something that I was passionate about. I started teaching, got passionate about teaching. Then I was like, wow, I want to scale a business. I've always said I want to be a millionaire one day. So I was like, how am I going to be a millionaire from this passion and this thing that's going good? Oh, it makes sense. I need to bring out hair. Hair's something that requires quite a lot of investment to do and to sell. And it's a very, very risky investment. So I knew that I even needed a loan, but I had shit credit because of the fashion business. So I was never going to be able to get a loan. Only to this day will I probably be able to start getting borrowing, which will be next year. So I've literally lived my life with no borrowing since then, really. Minimal borrowing, other than like within my business slightly. And then I went on Dragon's Den.
This is this point. Yes, another TV appearance.
Yeah, another TV appearance. I went on Dragon's Den with the education business. That was absolutely incredible. And what I didn't tell you is before I went on Dragon's Den, I'd gone on Angel's Investment Network, and I was this close to a multi-million-pound deal.
Really?
Yeah, he pulled out at the last minute because I had too many SKUs and he didn't understand it. And he was just worried that he wouldn't be able to support me the way that I needed supported.
Do you mean like SKUs?
Too many different like variations of hair extensions. So there was too many different lengths, too many different colours. So he was used to scaling products. For example, one of the products that he scaled is called Absolute Collagen. It's in yellow packaging. And they had like 3 products, I think, to start with. And they were just selling collagen drinks. And it's just like 3 products for like one audience. Mine was like selling to salons, loads of different products, loads of different colours, loads of different lengths. And it was not what he was used to.
That's the only way they're going to sell, because everyone wants different colour, everyone wants different length.
Yeah. So it was too much of a job for him to do. And at the last minute, I'm telling you now, it was this close. I was like on my next call, my husband had bought my favourite champagne. It was like in the fridge chilling.
Oh no.
And I wasn't being optimistic. The conversations that we had were all leading towards that. We talked about a big buyout, my salary, what my role was going to be. It was so bad. So that's what made me, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go on Dragon's Den. If I can't get a private investor, I might as well go hard and go on Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
I did all my application via Zoom because it was lockdown.
My gosh. I can't believe you're actually on there. Were you there with Stephen Bartlett?
Yeah, it was his first year.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did you get the investment?
No. It wasn't bad though. They just didn't fully understand the business. It's a very niche business. And I do feel like you do need people that can help you within that industry. However, Stephen Bartlett still follows me on Instagram.
Oh, hello.
We had a couple of times, just short conversations about business. The whole thing was amazing, but I got investment afterwards. So it aired on TV less than a year later, and then I got loads of offers of investment. And then that was a major setback because that was amazing, and then lost the whole business.
Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted.
I know.
Exhausted for you.
This is what I think when I come on podcasts, I'm like, how am I going to condense this crazy stuff down?
I think it's such an amazing thing because already for me, it's like, yeah, well, she can do that. You can keep going too. It's so helpful for people. So what happened? You got investment. How did you lose the business?
I say lose it, but I didn't really lose it. I signed it over for £1. It was all going really, really well. And he just became, after Christmas, in the hair extension industry, it's quite a quiet period. And I'd just done Salon International, and he kept saying like really weird remarks to me. And then my staff were like, oh, flagging up, he speaks to you really, really bad. Oh, they were seeing the emails and they're like, sat me aside and was like, Ola, like, are you okay? And I was like, oh, yeah, yeah. I was like, it's okay. Like, I gave every excuse that there was for him to speak to me the way that he spoke to me. And it wasn't straight away. So then I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to confront him. So I did. And I said, look, I don't like the way you're speaking to me. Like, and every time I would go to meetings, he wouldn't show up. He was just acting really bizarre, which I didn't know why at the time. He would like set crazy sales targets. And I'd be like, oh no, we've just hit a massive milestone. January in the industry is going to be quiet. Like, we should be prepping and planning for this. Let's have a meeting. And then he wouldn't turn up to the meetings. It was just so bizarre. And then there was financial issues. And he was like, basically said, we need more money. And he was like, I'm not giving you more money. So if you don't sign over the business to me, I'm going to call in the loan and it will be liquidated and everyone will be out of a job. And I was like, where the hell has this come from? Where has this come from? It just came out of nowhere. Anyway, it went on for a long time. It was very, very confusing. He was trying to force me out of the business in the end. And I mentally couldn't deal with it any longer. And to cut a long story really, really short, because I can't go into it, there's legal things that I can't say. I signed it over for £1, and 6 days later, he got banned from being director for 4 years. He had a lot going on behind the scenes and he needed to move money around. And I was just in the mix of it without knowing.
Yeah.
And he needed me out of the business because had I hung on for 6 more days, I would have become default director because he was banned. So I would have made all the decisions. And that means that his money within that investment, he wouldn't be able to just random decisions of what he was trying to do and I was pushing back on. So he needed all that power because he was about to lose all of his businesses, which he did. And he wanted to keep mine because mine was the only one that was kind of trading. And even though it was in a little bit of financial difficulty, it was doing better.
Yeah.
The situations that he was in. From what I could gather, I don't know, disclaimer, I don't know. But from what I can gather, that's what I think was happening.
And you would never have foreseen that when you...
No, it was amazing for 6 months. He put in double what he said he was going to put in. If it was a relationship, it would have been called love bombing.
Okay.
It was insane. Everybody around me was just as mind blown as I was. And it happened really, really fast. It went from like 100 miles an hour to... like, it was just crazy. I still, to this day, I kind of know what he was trying to do, but I didn't know that he was under investigation from HMRC. We ended up being under investigation from HMRC. He was the one that was controlling the books. I didn't have access to the bank accounts. Like, it was so weird. And I was 50-50 shareholder. So weird, but I just knew that I couldn't be in business with this guy. There was alarm bells, but I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And it was late. I was already in. So it was, he was like, if you don't sign it over, it's going to liquidate anyway. If he's going to run it into the ground, at least I can get my name out of it before it's too late.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Attached from it.
I know it was only 6 days before, but had I have stayed and he would have went into, got director ban, would I have been brought into that? Would I have been the mistakes that he made in the business and that put us under investigation? There's evidence, obviously, that I had no access. He wouldn't let me have access. But even that in itself was crazy. And I started to realise all of this stuff. So I think I got out at a good time. And then I just had nothing.
So what was the next step from here?
I was like, I need to make money and I need to make it fast. So I had a non-compete, so I couldn't sell hair extensions. There were certain things within training hair extensions that I wasn't sure if I could do, and I wasn't sure if he was going to come for me. So I started teaching hair extensions, but I felt nervous because I was like, is it come for me? I'm allowed to do it as a sole trader, but I wasn't allowed to do it as a limited company. It was all very confusing. I didn't feel right. So I thought, I'm going to start coaching. If you look back, my first 6-figure business was my salon. My second 6-figure business was the training academy. So these were separate businesses, even though they were together. My third 6-figure business was selling hair. We'd only been selling hair for 10 months and we did nearly 400 grand. I know how to build a business. I know how to get sales and I know how to do it fast. So I was like, that's a skill. So I'm going to package that skill. And he was like, you can't be a business coach. You've got nothing. And I thought, this is a really weird thing to do. I'm going to set up as a business coach with someone that's just lost everything, that starts from scratch. So I'm actually going to grow this as my fourth 6-figure business whilst teaching people to do the same. And it was a risk, but it paid off.
Yeah, but it's not a risk like the others because your outgoings potentially could be nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a safe. Actually, you knew all along that you had that fully within you. Like you'd already loved teaching. I mean, coaching, teaching, it's like hand in hand. Yeah. And you had no factory bills, nothing else.
And I borrowed the money off a family member to pay this coach because I didn't know how to build an online course. I was like, where do we even start? And this was only last summer. it was a group program, and I paid this coach £1,000. I didn't even have £1,000 at the time because I'd been in court that year as well. So when all the salon, I was losing the salon because that had been put into that business. The landlord from the salon, from the office actually, didn't like the fact that I'd moved to the salon. I'd got this new investor, but I'd moved out of his premises. And my investor at the time, when we were good, he was like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll look after all that. He's not got a leg to stand on. You're fine to move out." Blah blah blah. But he took me to court. He won. So I literally had no money. Yes, I borrowed £1,000 and built an online course. The first one was £7 a month.
That's great though. That's perfect. Build up that trust. Build the trust.
Yeah. So I thought, well, even if it looks like, oh God, she didn't know anything, I'll put in there for £7 a month, and then the other one was £27 a month. What I do know to prove that I'm good, get some results. Then when I get them results, I'll build a bigger program. And that's kind of what I've done. And here I am with a big group program, high converting mastermind, and thousands of clients.
Amazing. And it's all within your control. You don't rely on anyone else to do anything. It's not going anywhere. It's not going wrong, this one.
No, it's not going wrong. I would say you still have to rely on others, though. The bigger, the more of a team I think that you need. So there is other problems, but it's not going anywhere because I know that I'm at the forefront of the business. It's not my long-term career goal. I want to be at the forefront of the business now. I want to help as many people in the next 2 to 5 years as possible. And then I want to be doing things more passively. I want to be relaxing, going on holiday, enjoying my kids before they leave home. I know they're only 5 and 7 now, but that's what I mean when I think about the future. At the minute, the business it's a freedom-based business, but it's not a business that I could sell because it didn't work without me.
Yeah, definitely. Your resilience is just incredible. It actually is. Do you ever just sit back and take that wide view on it and think, actually, I've done so well, even to come back?
Oh, do you know what? This year, I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah.
I literally pinch myself. I'm like, look at you go, girl. Literally almost to the point where sometimes I'm a little bit overconfident. Like, I still doubt myself on a daily basis. That's why it's always good to have accountability, to have coaches, to explore different people and learning from different people all the time. Always be a sponge. Always be looking for the next thing. And I never just sit and think, oh, let me just enjoy this. I'm always like, what's next? I always want to learn the next level. Like, whilst I'm at this level, I don't want to just sit here and enjoy this level. I want to learn what is the next level and how do I get there faster than everybody else? Because I haven't got time to do things slowly. It just doesn't work for me. Like, I'm speed.
You're fast. Well, you're already onto supplements now, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I've invested my money into a supplement business, which it's going to require me to launch it. But as it grows, it is a business that would be able to be passed on to my children, able to be sold, able to run without me. And that's the things that I've learned from my coaching business. It's amazing. I love it, but it doesn't work without me.
And you need stuff that works without you. And
eventually, because if I ever get really tired or just decide that I'm tired of being in front of the camera, I'm tired of being all over social media, what if I want to live in my quiet girl era, which I'm not ready for yet, but I know I will. I'll just disappear on a yacht, and the supplement business won't need me forever. It will serve its purpose, and people will buy the supplements because they solve a problem.
Yeah. So talk me through one of your supplements, of a brain one. This is what I'm interested in.
So this is my first and only one at the minute. So I've read something somewhere, I saw something on Instagram, and they were like, start with one product, prove it first, don't put all your money straight in. So we've started with Brain Boss because it's aimed at entrepreneurs, parents, and those with a busy lifestyle. So I am my own target audience, which is really good because I understand myself. It's a supplement to help with mental clarity, focus, drive. It's a supplement that's got natural ingredients that actually have cognitive benefits, with ingredients that have been clinically studied, so they actually work. And like I said earlier, I made some of my worst decisions just because I wasn't thinking straight.
Yeah.
And it is a massive thing when you think about it. Had I have just been, I'm not saying this supplement's going to change your life, but had I have just had a bit more focus, a bit more clarity, been able to look at things with my brain fully focused, we've got all sorts of things running through our brain. And the way that we react and the way that we feel will control our behavior. Yeah. So if we feel more focused, if we feel more clear, if we feel more energized and able to see things clearly on a daily basis, our decisions will be made better. Yeah. We will be able to make better decisions. That will have an impact on your life, and hopefully a positive impact on your life. And I wanted to just give something, because that's what I was searching for. I was searching for a supplement for me. There were supplements out there, but there wasn't anything that was marketed for me, for an entrepreneur that has these problems. And I wanted a USP. So I've incorporated coaching. So I've got a mental health expert, and I'll be doing some myself. Whereas if they sign up for the subscription model to get those supplements every month, they'll get free coaching, little 10-minute videos that talk about real life problems, things that I've experienced, cash flow, mum guilt, tech issues, daily disasters, just little 10-minute coaching videos. But people haven't got hours. No. 10-minute coaching videos that they can watch and just make them feel a little bit better that day, take the supplement, have the mental clarity. And I just want to make people feel good and be able to do what they think that they can't do. Because most things we think we can't do, definitely we can.
No, we definitely can. I absolutely love that. So where can people buy this supplement?
popsupplements.co.uk, POP with a pop. Yeah, it's live now. The website is live. Check us out on Instagram, Pop Supplements. There's so much information on there. All the science behind it is on there. I worked with a product developer. I wasn't silly. Supplements is not my area of expertise, and I didn't want to go in stupidly. So I worked with a coach as such. She's more of a consultant that helped me bring it to life. We work with product developers within the UK, and we've even got social media managers. So rather than me trying to do everything and be an expert in everything, I am the idea, I am the driving force, and then I have experts around me to help me execute it. Yeah, hopefully it will go better than some of the previous mistakes I've made.
It will. I'm excited to see it. Well, thank you so much. I know this episode is going to be so inspiring for anyone who is either trying to start their business, run their business, change their business, or even employed, working within another business, and then they want something else, they want more to life. So thank you so much for your time. And where can people find you on socials?
My number one platform is Instagram, Ola_Goldsmith. I don't really respond to Facebooks because I get too many bots and that. But Instagram is, if you want to get a response within a day or so, then Instagram. Sometimes it goes into my message request. Sometimes I'll open it and think, oh, I'll reply to that later. But you will eventually get a response on Instagram, usually the same day.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. It was fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been fun talking about it, reliving it. It's always fun hearing it. When you say things out loud, you're like, oh my God, this is wild.
Yeah, wild, wild. I'm so pleased you shared. Thank you so much.
That's okay. Thanks for having me.
If you enjoyed listening to this episode, then please head over to give us a rating. We would really, really appreciate that. And as a return, send us a screenshot of your rating and we will send you a free 45-minute hypnosis for absolute daily motivation. This is a must listen to every day in order to create your best future self.